Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm leading you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series to help you. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find everything you need to know there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated and share out those videos. And now we're going to crack on with the next question of the Grade 4 2018 Practice Paper A, and we're going to look at question 4 now. So if you turn with me to page 6, we can look at this together. And so I always say this, I know that I'm repeating myself, but please do try this on your own first of all. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. And always use a pencil. I use a mechanical pencil just so it stays nice and sharp. And then if you make a mistake, you can just rub it out and have another go, and you'll learn much more thoroughly that way. So over the next couple of pages, all of the questions are going to be referring to this little piece of music here. Nice bit of Mozart for us to refer to. And so we'll crack on with this. So first of all, we've got to look at X and Y, and we need to name the ornaments there. So here at X we have an appoggiatura. Be careful, don't confuse it with the acciaccatura, which has a little line through it. This is the appoggiatura, double P, double G. Alternatively, you could call that a leaning note. Either one of those will be okay. The appoggiatura, or the leaning note, is where we divide the time values between these notes and equalise it, unlike the acciaccatura or the crush notes where you just sort of squish it in. You crush that note in. So just be careful you've got the right one there. And then at Y we have here, nice and easy to recognise, that's your trill. Pretty obvious really with the TR. Alternatively, you can call it a shake, but I think trill's pretty obvious really. So that's that. Let's look at the next one. So now we've got to give the number of a bar that contains all of the notes of the tonic triad of E flat major. So before we go looking, we need to be sure what we're looking for. The tonic triad is made up of the first, the third and the fifth degrees of the scale. If we're in E flat major, the first is E flat. I'm not going to bother with all the flats there because your key signature will deal with that. So E, F, G, A, B. So we're looking for a bar that's got E, G, B in it. Of course it will have B flats and E flats, but your key signature will deal with all of that. So it's got to have all of those notes present. So we've just got to scan through. So we've got B's but nothing else here. We've got a G and an E, but no B. Here we've got an E, a G, and finally we get a B. So bar 4 is where we've got that. So bar 4, let's just scan through and see if it's anywhere else. Are there any other options? No, I think that's the only bar. So bar 4 is the answer for that one. Let's carry on. Now complete the following statement. All of the notes in bars 10 to 12 can be found in the key of what major scale? So let's see what clues we've got. Bars 10 to 12 is here. So bear in mind we've got a key signature of B flats, E flats and A flats. However, in bar 10, the A flat has been cancelled, and so it has it in bar 12. So we're left with just B flats and E flat. So the major scale that has those two flats in it is B flat major. So B flat major. And now just a little bit of basic note reading. We've got to give the letter name of the highest note in the melody. So bear in mind we're working in treble clef, and we're going to have to see if the key signature applies. Let's see the highest note. So that's pretty high, but we can see here we're going to go higher. Same again here. Now let's see what this is. This is note F, G, A, B, C, D, E flat. There's an E flat there, however that's a bit redundant because it's already E flat because of your key signature. So we've got an E flat here, and then of course that's the same note, and it's exactly the same note because the key signature still makes that an E flat. If you're not sure how to figure out these ledger lines, you can either count from familiar territory here. So we know that the top line is F in the treble clef, every good boy deserves football, F, G, A, B, C, D, E flat. Alternatively, you can count down an octave and that will bring you to a more familiar sort of position. So 1, you've always got to count the first note as the given note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes you to here, and of course it will be flattened still, and the spaces in the treble clef spell face, F-A-C-E, and so you can double check it that way. So E flat is the name of that note. Now then, we're moving on to the next page, but we need to keep this page handy because we're still referring back to this little extract of music. And so now we're asked to rewrite bar 11. So we're going to be rewriting this bar here. We needn't worry about the ornament, and we need to make everything twice the value. So we need to put in a new time signature. So let's think what we've got. At the moment we've got 2 beats per bar, and each of those beats is a quarter note or a crotchet. And so we still need to make sure that we've got 2 beats per bar, but we're doubling everything, twice the value. So now we'll be counting each beat as a minim or as a half note. So our new time signature will be 2/2 because we're still staying in duple time, but we've doubled the unit value. And so now let's look at how we're going to do this. So go back to bar 11, this bar, and the way we double everything is we'll get rid of one of those beams, so that will become a quaver and a dotted crotchet, an eighth note and a dotted quarter note. This rest here will become a crotchet rest or a quarter note rest. Get rid of the beam here, and that's that done. So first of all, I'm just going to get the note heads in place. So we need a D. So just keep this, let's see if we can squish it on the page. Yeah, we can see what we're doing here. So we want a D, an F. We can put the rest in, we've already thought about that, and then another note F. So that becomes a quaver because we've gone from a semi-quaver and doubled it, so that's a quaver or an eighth note. That was a dotted quaver, it now becomes a dotted crotchet or a dotted quarter note. And then same note again is just a crotchet or a quarter note. So that's what we end up with there. And we can see there's one minim beat, one half note, there's another, and so we know that we've got our maths right. So there we go. Let's have a look at this next section. So we're asked to compare bars 1 and 2 to bars 4 and 6. So we're comparing bars 1 and 2 to 4 and 6 with the upbeats by the looks of it, where we're marked with the brackets. So we need to find some similarities and some differences. So let's have a look. Well, straight away we can see that the pitch is exactly the same. B flat, octave, down a step. So the pitch is exactly the same. So that will do. Alternatively, you could show that the rhythm is exactly the same. What else is the same? We have the same articulation marks, the slurs and the staccatissimo. So you could say articulation is the same, or you could say the slurs are the same, or you could say the staccatissimo is all the same. You only need one, so that's plenty to be going at. Now what's the difference? There is only one difference, and that's in the dynamic markings, the piano and the forte. So that you could say the dynamics, and you could show what you mean there. So that's that soon done. Let's press on to the next question. Now, is it true or is it false that the melody begins on an upbeat? That's an anacrusis. So let's have a look. There should be 2 beats in a bar, but you'll notice we only have half a beat here, and that's reflected on the new phrase as well. So that's an upbeat, and the reason we do that is because the first beat of the bar is accented. Just naturally the rhythm of the time signature makes that so in any time signature, and so there's your strong beat, and that's just an upbeat, a weak beat leading in. So that's a long way of saying yes, it's true, there's an upbeat or an anacrusis is the same way. Just the same thing with a different word, sort of more classical term. Let's press on. Now we're asked to underline one word from this list below to show which has the similar meaning to allegro. Now it may be that you know this one straight away and you can just go for it. However, I suggest that you make the most of this as a revision exercise and give every one of these their definition. So assez is enough, or sufficiently, sufficient. Vite is quick. I always think of people in film saying vite, vite. I don't know why, that's just how I remember it. Bring my coffee, vite. Avec is with. And douce, bear in mind that's very similar to the word douce, like that, however you pronounce that. My pronunciation is shocking, I know. And there's a vague similarity to the Italian dolce as well, both of which mean sweet or soft. So all of those mean sweetly, sweet or soft. And so that's a long way of showing. Of course, we need to know what allegro is. We first come across in this grade 1, which means quickly as well. And so there we go, we know that vite is the answer. So that's that. So now we need to name a standard orchestral woodwind instrument which would normally use the treble clef so that you can play this melody at the same pitch. So we need to find a treble clef instrument in the woodwind family that is comfortable in this higher range here and is accustomed to reading the treble clef. So we have a few to choose from here. Ooh, any of those will do. We can have flute, we can have oboe, we can have clarinet. All of those are in the woodwind family, so that will do. And so now just a bit of general information. We need to name the highest sounding member of the brass family. So the highest member in the standard orchestral brass family is the trumpet. That's your treble clef instrument there in the brass family. And now just at the opposite end of the spectrum in the string family, which is the lowest sounding member of the string family, and that's the double bass. Great big massive double bass. You have to sit on a high stool to play one of those. Now then, continue with some more general orchestral information. We need to underline 2 instruments that are members of the standard orchestral percussion family. Percussion is basically anything that you hit with, say for example, the drums or a triangle or anything like that. So the bassoon, that's woodwind. Timpani, that's, or the kettle drum is another way of saying that. That's, of course, you hit that with a mallet or a stick. That's percussion. The bass drum, of course, is percussion. And the viola is strings. So that's the end of that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope this is helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do share out the videos, and please do visit sharonbill.com and have a browse around all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.